Good evening. My name is Kimber Fair. This is my reflection video assignment for Capstone 2 here at East Texas A&M. This program has helped me grow both professionally and personally, and it has changed the way I view leadership within education. When I began this program, I believed leadership was primarily about being responsible, organized, and setting positive examples for others. As a paraprofessional who has worked in elementary school for the last 5 years, I often viewed leadership as something associated with principals, administrators, or people holding formal leadership positions. While I considered myself dependable and hardworking, I did not always recognize the influence I've already had on students, coworkers, and families. At the beginning of the program, I viewed leadership mainly as someone in management. I believed successful leaders were people who could solve problems quickly, keep things organized, and ensure tasks were completed efficiently. In the classroom, my leadership experiences began by supporting students in special education during my first year as a para. Through that role, I learned the importance of patience, flexibility, and meeting the individual needs of students. During the following 4 years, I have served as an elementary art teacher where I was responsible for creating engaging lessons, managing student behavior, and fostering a positive learning environment for students across kinder through second. These experiences have helped me develop confidence in working with students and collaborating with my colleagues. But at the same time, I still viewed my role primarily as supporting instruction rather than serving as a leader. While I see my responsibilities are important, I had not developed a deeper understanding of leadership as a process of influencing, inspiring, and serving others. I also entered the program with limited knowledge of leadership theories and organizational practices. Much of what I knew came from personal experiences rather than formal study. I relied heavily on intuition and observation. Although I've served as PTO president, participated in campus committees, and worked with our town's Chamber of Commerce, I did not fully understand research and theory that support effective leadership practices. As I progressed through my coursework, each class contributed valuable knowledge that expanded my understanding of leadership and how it applies to education. They have provided a foundation for understanding organizations and leadership. They introduced me to different leadership styles, leadership theories, and the characteristics of effective leaders. And one of the most important lessons I learned that leadership is not limited to a job title. Leadership can occur at every level of an organization. In education, teachers are leaders every day through decisions they make, the relationships they build, and the examples they set for their students. These courses have helped me recognize that leadership involves communication, collaboration, and influence. As a future classroom teacher, my dream is to create a classroom environment where students feel valued, respected, and encouraged to become leaders themselves. I also learned that successful leaders adapt their approaches based on the needs of the people they serve and the situations they face. The data driven decision making course really challenged me in ways I did not expect. Before taking that course, I understood that schools collected data, but I often viewed it as simply like test scores or grades. Through the course, I learned how data can be used to identify trends, measure growth, and make informed decisions that improve outcomes. It was one of the most difficult courses in my program to me. I shed so many tears, many due to personal issues going on at the time, but a few due to those Excel spreadsheets that just wouldn't make the tables how I wanted to. It was also one of the most impactful classes because when I finally passed it, I was done. I learned the important. I learned how to analyze information rather than relying on assumptions. It showed me that using data to monitor student progress, I can identify learning gaps and adjust my instruction based on my students' needs. Data will show me that data will help me guide my decisions and ensure that every student can receive appropriate support. Leadership theory courses have expanded my understanding of how different leadership approaches can be applied in various situations. Learning about different theories helped me recognize that no single leadership style works in every circumstance. Effective leaders must be flexible and willing to adapt their approach based on the needs of the people they serve. One concept that stood out to me was transformational leadership. transformational leaders. They inspire others to grow, to improve, and to work towards a shared vision. This aligns closely with the type of teacher I hope to be. I want to motivate my students to believe in themselves, to take ownership of their learning, and to reach their fullest potential. Through my experiences in education, I have seen firsthand how one caring and encouraging educator can make a lasting impact on a student's life. As a student, one of my own teachers, Mr. Hicks, challenged me to think beyond the classroom and connected my learning to real life in ways that inspired me. His influence helped me shape my decision to work in education. I have also witnessed the power of transformational leadership within my own family as a mom. I have watched my stepdaughter overcome language barriers and graduate early, as well as seeing my own biological daughter grow from needing speech services, where she wasn't talking at all, to becoming a gifted and talented student who is reading at an eighth grade level in fourth grade. It showed me that students can accomplish incredible things when they have educators who believe in them and encourage them to succeed. These experiences have strengthened my commitment to becoming the kind of teacher who sees potential in every child. I want to help students build confidence and encourage them to achieve their goals. They might not see them yet, but I want them to show them that they have them. This course also highlighted the importance of planning, organizing, and my classroom procedures. Effective classroom management begins with clear expectations, consistent routines, positive relationships. As I prepare to lead my own classroom, these principles will help create an environment where my students feel safe, they feel supported and ready to learn. Today, I understand that leadership is about influence, about services, relationships, and growth. Leadership is not limited to a formal position of authority, and every educator has the ability to lead through their actions and decisions. One experience that reinforced this realization was actually I was selected as paraprofessional of the year this past school year. To be completely honest, I have never been someone who is comfortable receiving compliments or recognition. I tend to stay in the background. I tend to focus on the work that needs to be done rather than seeking acknowledgments from it. However, receiving that award gave me an opportunity to see myself through the eyes of others. It didn't impact me just from receiving the award itself, but the conversations that followed it. Many of my coworkers took the time to congratulate me and shared how much they appreciated the support and contributions I'd done throughout the years. So many said well deserved. Several even told me that they did not know what they would do without my help. And hearing these comments made me realize that leadership is often found in the small everyday actions that may go unnoticed by ourselves, but they still make a difference to those around us. It helped me understand that leadership is not always about standing in front of a group or holding a title. Sometimes it's simply about consistently showing up, supporting others, and being someone people can rely on. That experience gave me greater confidence in my ability to lead and reminded me that relationships we build with others matter just as much as the task we accomplish. I also see leadership as an opportunity to empower our students. My goal is not to simply just to teach academic content, but to develop students to help students develop their confidence, their problem solving skills, and a belief in their own self. Leadership begins in the classroom, and teachers play an important role in shaping future leaders. Looking ahead, I plan to continue applying these leadership principles as I transition into a role as a classroom teacher. My experiences as a para have prepared me to lead a classroom where my students feel safe, supported, challenged, and valued. To continue my leadership journey, I do have some professional goals for the next part of my journey. My first goal is to successfully transition into the role of a classroom teacher. In my classroom, I want to establish a classroom culture that promotes growth, has positive behavior, and meaningful relationships. As I begin teaching my own class, I want my students to feel safe, respected, and supported from the very first day. Throughout this program, I learned that effective leaders create environments where individuals feel valued and motivated to succeed. I want to apply this by building strong relationships with students and their families. I want to create clear expectations and routines and foster a classroom community where all my students feel like they belong. I also want to create an environment that encourages my students to take ownership of their learning. I want to develop their confidence and build leadership skills for their own self. Success for this goal will be measured not by academic growth, but by student engagement, the classroom culture, and the positive relationships that are developed throughout the school year. My second goal is to continue developing my instructional leadership skills through ongoing professional development. It helps support my decision of obtaining my ESL certification. One of the biggest lessons I learned throughout this program is that effective leaders never stop learning. Education is constantly changing. Teachers must be willing to adapt to new research, to new curriculum, instructional strategies, technology, and their students' needs. During my first year as a classroom teacher, I want to actively seek opportunities for growth by attending professional development, collaborating with experienced teachers, and seeking feedback from admin and colleagues. Earning my ESL certification is especially important to me because of my personal experiences. Like I've said previously, I've witnessed firsthand the challenges English language learners can face through my stepdaughter. Despite entering school with language barriers, she worked incredibly hard. She excelled academically and eventually she graduated early. And watching her overcome those obstacles gave me a deeper appreciation for the impact that educators can have on students who are learning English. It also showed me the importance of having teachers who understand how to support language development while maintaining high expectations for student success. By continually improving my teaching practices, pursuing my ESL certification and remaining open to feedback, I hope to become a stronger leader who can meet the diverse needs of all my learners and positively impact my students' achievements. My third goal is to become more involved in supporting the growth and success of my school and community. Throughout this program, I've learned that leadership is not limited to just a position or a title. It can occur whenever individuals work together to support and encourage each other. I already serve as PTO president. I'm involved with various committees and activities on the campus, and I want to continue finding ways to contribute beyond my classroom. Over the next couple years, our district will begin an exciting new chapter. The community has passed a bond that will allow us to build a new pre-K through fifth grade elementary campus. And as both an educator and a parent in this district, I'm excited about the opportunities this will create for our students, our families, and staff. My goal is to be actively involved in supporting school events, encouraging family involvement, and helping build a positive culture as our district grows and changes. I want to continue strengthening connections with families and helping parents feel welcomed and involved in their children's education. Family involvement has always been important to me, and I believe students are most successful when schools and families work together as partners, whether through PTO, through school events, volunteering, or simply building positive relationships with parents. I want to continue serving my school in meaningful ways. Long term, I hope to be known as someone who is dependable, who's supportive, and willing to help whenever is needed. Leadership does not always mean leading from the front. Sometimes it means, showing up consistently, being dependable, supporting others, and helping create a positive environment where our students, our families, and the staff can thrive. This program has transformed my understanding that leadership and my role within education. It's provided me with valuable knowledge, practical skills, and opportunities for reflection that will continue to influence my professional journey. I began this program believing that leadership was primarily about responsibility and management, and now I understand that leadership is about inspiring others, about serving with integrity, making informed decisions, and creating positive change. As I move forward in my career, I am committed to continuing to grow myself as a leader while helping students reach their fullest potential. Thank you.